You can learn to play the guitar and sing at the same time. And in this lesson, I'm going to show you a methodical way to do it. Now, this approach is designed specifically for beginners. But as you get more experienced, you may find shortcuts or modify some of the steps. But when you're starting out, I strongly recommend not skipping any of them. In my mind, there are 3 primary steps to learning this skill. They are preparing the guitar, preparing the vocal, and then combining the guitar and vocal. But before we even get to those steps, there's one preliminary step that is extremely important. Before you ever pick up the guitar, listen to whatever song you want to sing and play multiple times. Sing along with the recording until you become very familiar with it. You should reach the point where the melody and lyrics feel natural and almost automatic. You see, if you don't really know the song, it becomes way harder for beginners to play and sing at the same time. So do yourself a favor and learn the song. And once you're comfortable with the song, then we can begin. All right, so the first step is preparing the guitar. And what you want to do is make the guitar part as easy and automatic as possible. We're just beginners, we're just learning. And so what I'd recommend, first thing to do, is just start with a simple song. Choose a song that is easy to strum. Ideally, I'd recommend something like a children's song. They're really easy. Or just choose any song, but make sure it has very few chords in it. And then once you're comfortable with that, well, go ahead and move on to songs that you enjoy, that maybe still use simple chord progressions or even more progressively hard. All right, the second thing you want to do is you want to take the time to write out a chord chart. You see, writing out a chord chart for the entire song allows you to clearly see where chords change and the entire structure of the song. All right, this is a skill within itself, and if you've never written out a chord chart before, let me show you how I do it. First, I create measures on a blank piece of paper that look something like this. Second, I put slashes within the measures that correspond to the number of beats in a measure. Now, usually it will be 4 beats in a measure, but sometimes you'll find songs with 3 beats in a measure, like a waltz, or maybe some other number of beats. For this example, we'll assume our song has 4 beats in a measure. The third thing I do is I place the chord name above the beat within the measure that will indicate to me when I need to change to that chord. For example, let's say I'm writing out the chord chart for the ABC song. Here is how I would write out the chord chart. And just so you can see how this works, I'll play and sing the song so that you can see why I put the chords where I put them. Okay, here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time you can sing with me. All right, now that you have the chord chart written out, practice playing the song. And what you want to do is make sure that you can play each chord individually and then work out switching between them smoothly. Your goal is really threefold. You want to change chords quickly, you want to play them clearly, and you want to do it without hesitation. Finally, as you're doing step 1, preparing the guitar part, I recommend playing with a metronome. And if you have a mobile phone, you should be able to download a free metronome app. The one I currently use is a very simple metronome, and the app is appropriately called Simply Metronome. All right, keep it easy, use an easy strumming pattern, and play through the entire song. And avoid mistakes. Eventually you want to reach the point where you can play the song without thinking about it, without looking at the chord chart. And once the guitar becomes automatic, you're ready for the next step. Step 2 is preparing the vocal. Now that we're going to prepare the singing part, the first thing you want to do is memorize the lyrics. You should know the lyrics so well that you don't have to think about them. If you're constantly trying to remember words, it becomes very difficult to coordinate both singing and playing. I mean, think about what we just did for the guitar part. We broke it down and made it so that we can play it without very much thought. We can play it automatically. That's why I recommend memorizing the lyrics. You want to make everything as easy as possible, and constantly looking for the lyrics because you don't know them, that's just going to make this hard. So memorize the lyrics. And then the second thing you want to do in preparing the vocal is add your lyrics to your chord chart. The key idea is this. You're going to place the word or syllable directly above the chord where the change happens. And this is going to visually help you connect the lyric, the melody, and the place where the chord changes. Now, when you're just learning the skill, just do it for the first verse, but eventually you'll want to be able to write out every verse. So let's get back to our ABC song, and as you'll recall, here's our chord chart. Now, here's the chord chart, but with the lyrics written in with the proper word above every chord change or its appropriate beat and measure. This is really important when first learning the skill of playing guitar and singing at the same time. Preparing your chart this way will help you remember what lyrics go with what measures, especially when the chord changes take place. I'll perform the song again. And now watch how the chart for this song corresponds to the chord changes and to the lyrics. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time you can sing with me. Okay, now you're ready for the most important step. This is where we bring it all together, but we're going to start as a minimalist. When you first begin combining the guitar and singing, you want to simplify as much as possible. That's been a common theme. So instead of strumming continuously, strum only once when the chord changes. And that's it. You see, you want to focus on singing the melody while making those chord changes. So you want to practice in small sections of the song, taking only a few measures at a time, if need be, and then gradually building up until you can do the whole thing. Going back to our ABC song, here's how I'd begin working on the song. Strumming once, only when the chord changes. Doing it this way will help you to get used to the idea of combining playing and singing while keeping it as simple as possible. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, Next time you can sing with me. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit different than when I did it originally because I only strummed when a chord change took place. Seemed like a lot because this particular song has a lot of chord changing. But if the song was even more sparse in chord changes, it would have been more evident that I was just keeping it as simple as possible, strumming only when a chord change took place. And that's a good way to start. And once you can sing while making the chord changes, well, you can start adding your strumming pattern that you've been working on. And again, as a reminder, work in small segments. Gradually build the song. And when you get it, add them all together, play all the verses. Eventually, you'll be able to play the entire song smoothly while singing. And that's our objective. So there you have it. Do these 3 steps in order to learn the skill of playing guitar and singing, but we're not quite done. Let me share with you real quickly 4 important tips. Once you can play and sing, even if it's just a simple song, these tips will help you to improve. And the first tip might seem obvious, but it is be patient. This is a skill that anyone can learn, but it takes time. Don't expect to master it in an hour. Give yourself time to grow. Remember working in small segments and then combining those segments, building up the song as a whole. Patience is definitely a virtue in learning this skill, trust me. Second tip would be spend a little bit more time on whatever's weak. If your guitar playing is stronger than your singing, then focus on your singing. And vice versa, if your singing is stronger than your guitar playing, focus on the guitar. I mean, it's just like athletes who improve by working on their weaknesses. Musicians should also work on their weaknesses to improve. The third tip seems obvious as well, and that is practice really does make perfect. The more you practice, the more natural the skill becomes. I mean, it is going to be so cool when eventually you reach that point where you don't have to think about anything anymore. You can combine playing guitar and singing, it just comes out. But there are no shortcuts here. Practice really is the key. By the way, I've been singing and playing for over 50 years, and I still utilize many of these steps and then practice in order to get where I want to go when I'm learning a new song. I mean, as an example, I still make my own charts for songs to this day. That method has never failed me. So, I mean, why would I change? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And a final tip. This is especially important if you plan to perform for others when you get this skill down. And it can get a little tricky. And that tip is do not stop in the middle of a song. If you make a mistake while you're performing, don't stop the song. Instead, keep playing, and you might have to get a little creative. Maybe you'll skip to the next part that you do remember, or you'll repeat a verse, or just avoid the bridge, or even make up lyrics if you have to. It's funny, but many audiences won't even notice those small mistakes, but they will notice if you stop. A tip along this line is just always keep your chart with chords and lyrics available when performing. I still often perform with a music stand and with my charts. The audience doesn't mind that you are using these things to give them your best effort, but they will not be as forgiving if you just stop in the middle of the song. I know, I did that once, and it was embarrassing. Learning to play guitar and sing at the same time, it might seem daunting if you've never done it before, but if you'll take the time to go through these 3 steps, you'll not only develop the skill, but eventually it will become second nature to you. Well, I hope you found that helpful. Thanks for checking out the video. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.